Hello to everybody. Thank you once again for staying put. Thank you for your time, for uh, getting ready to listen, getting ready to accept and to receive my views and my personal thoughts, which stands to be corrected, which stands to be corrected. But sincerely speaking, what I do share with you does not come from a piece of paper. What I share with you doesn't come from the writings on the wall. It comes from the heart. Those are the things that we want in this world. We want things to come in the heart because the heart is the only place that God trusts that something good can come from. God only trusts, God does not trust anything. God trusts the heart. And that is why God looks at the heart. God looks at the heart. It, God does not look at people's appearance. God doesn't care about people's status. God doesn't care about your financial capability. God does not look into maybe how big, how small, how influential you are. God is looking at something too small, too invisible. That is the heart. Think about how big human beings are. What is the percentage of space that the heart occupies? What is the let's be serious, let's be serious, let's be serious. Let's tell it. Let's tell it the way it is. What exactly is the what is the actual percentage space occupied by the heart? Let somebody tell me. But that is the only organ in the body that God, that is what God can trust. What comes in the heart, that is what God is focused on. The heart, human heart. Human heart is so invisible. Human heart, human heart is the focus that God has in human being. God focuses in nothing except the heart. I will tell you. And in the process of my of my videos, as long as I live in this world, you will come to realize the function of the heart and why that heart is the only focus in human being. Why God focuses on nothing but the heart. You know what God said? God said that I've looked all over the world, but I've never found somebody that owns the heart like that of mine, except King David. The heart, except King David. Think about it. Think about it. That the human beauty in the eye of God is the heart. What amazing. What amazing. The human beauty in the eyes of God is the heart. That is why, that is why in my main theme, the new generational mindset, is a key to changing the world, to changing a generation into a better society, a better family, a better village, and a better nations, a new generational mindset. Because God, because God has given us a heart. Through that heart, a new generation can be created. Through that heart. Because God, you know what? God is capable to change each and every heart to accomplish the best that God has intended for humankind. God has the capacity, God has the power and authority to change the human hearts to accomplish what God has planned for humankind. If you believe that, if you accept that, if you agree with me, please like my videos, share my videos, subscribe to it, and please let's move it. Let's move it. Let's share the message. Let's share the message and let's build hearts. Let's create a generation that will stand for us tomorrow, a generation that will stand for us today, a generation that create an environment that is so pure, environment that is so sincere, environment that is so fearful to God, an environment that will be full of values, great attitudes, and greater sincere mindset. That is a generation that we want. But whatever we want, if you want something, you got to build something that is exactly something that looks like what you want. You got to build it, you got to fight for it, you have to work for it. Whatever you want, you have to work for it. It does not come. You have to go and get it. What you want does not come. You have to go and get it. How you get it, that is your plan. That is the plan of your heart, which you have to sit down and make a plan on how you want to get what you want. So, today, I didn't plan to say everything that I have just said. Today, the topic of today was about fear. Fear. How fear affects our mind health. How fear affects our future. How fear affects the present. And how fear will destroy the entire universe. Because through fear, we will accept what is, we will accept what we shouldn't accept. Through fear, we'll follow a pathway that we shouldn't follow. Through fear, we will believe in what we should never believe. Through fear, we will accept and allow our minds to be filled with some teachings or informations that aren't right for the present and for the future and for the eternity. Fear is a subject that we got to talk about it in details. There is somebody I admire in life. I admire King David. You know what? King David, I always ask myself, because think about the wars. that King David fought. In every war, he emerged to be a winner. And in some wars that it happened that he didn't win, he went back, made a plan, went back and won the war. King David was winning. He was winning each and every time. But you know what was his tactics? He studied what is called fear. Because fear will destroy humanity. Fear is an enemy of the world. Fear is not good for our health. It's what we should be talking about and see, really, what is the content of fear? What do we fear of? What exactly? What is the fear? Fear is destroying people's health, destroying minds. It's fear. Fear. We'll talk it and break it into, we will break this fear into pieces, crush it into finer particles, crush the particles into molecules and into atoms until we break it. We'll break it into pieces to an extent that it can never be broken anymore. That means we'll crush it to dust. That is our determination. We have to crush fear into finer particles that it will, so that it never exists in our lives. Fear has made people make decisions that aren't right. Fear is making children, as students, destroy schools. Fear is making parents make wrong decisions against their children. Fear is my worst enemy. Fear is my worst enemy. But we must get into, we must know exactly. We have to study this word fear. We have to study its contents so that we know, so that we know the, the how to fight this fear. Because this fear makes me so fearful that sometimes I lack words to speak. It is fear. It is fear. It is fear. But I got a good message for you, that we need not to fear. We need not to fear anything. We need not fear. We need just to believe. You have to believe that you are capable. You have to believe that you have the strength to reach and grab what you want. But still, there is something you have to develop before you crush the fear. You must have a sincere heart. You must develop your characters to be more pure and more conforming to the teachings of the great gospel that have been preached by our Lord Jesus. You have to develop, you must, because there is no way out. There is no way out. You must develop great characters. You must stay focused for you to crush this fear. You must know what you want in life. But knowing what you want in life is not enough. But knowing how to get it, that is the question. That is the focus. You have to know how to get what you want in life. But again, you have to know also the challenges that comes on the way. Because if you are not prepared for those challenges, you will never reach to what you want. You must get prepared to those challenges. You must know those challenges. You must know that it's not easy to get what you want. But you have also to prepare how to make it easy to get what you want. You must develop patience. You know what? Some people say, I got no patience. You know what? You must learn how to be patient. Because patience is the main weapon that will make you win so many wars in this life. Patience. You must develop, you must develop a high level of patience for you to achieve what you want. People who are impatient fall on the way. They never reach what where they are going. They will never get what they want. They will run away with just a photocopy of what they wanted. Photocopy is not original. It's never original. So you must learn how to know the original thing that you want in life, and go and grab the original one, not a photocopy. Impatient people runs away with photocopy and then boast and thump their chest that they've got what they wanted. So you must develop a high level of patience in life so that you get what you want. You must develop the values. You, the values in life, you must know how to develop them. Because through those values, they will develop in you what is called patience, sincerity. You have to be sincere to yourself. You have to be patient. You have to be prayerful. You must be faithful. You must believe that what you want you can get. That is another character that you have to develop. You must believe that what you want you can get. You must trust God that what you can, so that you must trust God to make you develop a faith that what you want you must get. Let us develop a generation that will win every war that comes with this life. Let's create hopes to those who are running out of hopes. It makes me worried to hear that somebody just took, you know, you know, it makes me cry that somebody takes away his own life. No, you should not. You shouldn't. Giving up is stupidity. Giving up is the only stupidity that we should never accept. You should never give up in life. You should never give up in life. You should never fear. Because fear is what makes you to give up. That is why we have to know the content of this fear and what fear intends to do in our lives. Because fear is bad. Fear is an enemy. It's a greater enemy. It's a greater enemy. Fear is a greater enemy that we have to fight. Fear is my enemy. Fear is my enemy. We have to fight it together. And we have to win it. We have to fight it together. Because it is fear. It is fear that creates depression in our minds. It is fear that creates stress in our minds. It is fear. Because through fear we make wrong decisions. Through fear we fail and we refuse to think. It is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. We must fight away the fear. We have to fight away the fear in our lives. We must fight it off. Let's start it off. Let's start the fight. Write down. You have to write down all the things that makes you fear. You must write down all the things that, everything that you are fear of, you have to write it down. After writing down one by one, gather the weapons, start fighting, and don't give up. Crush that fear to finer particles. Crush that fear until you stumble on it. Stumble. It has to go. You have to step on it under your feet. Fear is an enemy of human health. Fear is an enemy of human health. Fear is an enemy of a human mind. Fear is an enemy of a human soul. Fear is an enemy of every success. Fear is an enemy. Fear is an enemy of humankind, and that we have just to fight it. We have to fight it. As much as you listen to my videos, as much as you watch my videos, keep in mind that we have a mission to create a new generational mindset. But before we reach there, we have a fight. We have to fight. And we have to know the war that we are fighting. We are fighting fear. We have to know what fear can cause. Fear can make us lose our lives. Fear makes humankind lose their lives because you are afraid, because you're fearful, because you're afraid to fight. You are afraid to fight the fear. Fear is an enemy that we got to fight. We have to fight the fear. We must believe. We must create a hope. We must believe in God. The Lord is my shepherd. What else should we be afraid of? Which kind of fear should intimidate our hearts? Which kind of fear should intimidate our minds? Which kind of fear should intimidate our eyes? Which kind of fear should intimidate our vision, our visual? Which kind of fear? Fear is an enemy of humankind. Fear is my enemy. We have to know what we are fearful of. We must know what we are fearful of. Because through these fears, most people have lost their lives. Most people have ended their lives because they are fearful. They are fear, because of the fear. They fear, and fear makes them lose their lives. Fear makes them take their own lives. Fear makes them end their own lives. Fear. Fear is a failure to have a hope. Fear is a failure to accept faith. Fear is a failure to know that success, that for you to get something that you want, takes patience. Fear is a failure to know that getting what you want needs a fight. Spiritual fight. Calling for praise. Calling for believing. And you got to know how to believe. You have to know how to believe. You have to know whom to believe at. You got to know this, because this life is a war zone that you have to win. Life is a war zone. But the option is that in that war zone is that you have to win. Life is like a match. That in that ring, within that ring of every match, that in every game, you got no option. You have to win. That is the only option that is left in life. The only option that is left for you and me is to win. Therefore, we need not to fear. We have to crush fear to pieces. We have to win every war. Lost hope has to be brought back by crushing fear. We have to stand together and create a new generational mindset. And a new generation can never take over if there is fear. Fear. The world is suffering because there is fear. Leaders are making wrong decisions, wrong conclusions because they fear. Because great conclusions, great decision is made by those who have identified fear as an enemy. Stronger solutions that will last for generations and generations and generations and generations until the end of the world is only made by those who understand that fear is the enemy. We have to understand the content of fear, and we have to understand the agents of fear in this life if we truly want to win it. We have to understand the agents of fear. We have to understand the content of fear, because in this life we have no option but to win anyhow, anywhere, anytime, by any means, because God did not create human being to lose. We have to win. But for us to win, we have to understand the content of fear, because fear have destroyed lives. Fear have made people made wrong decisions. Fear has made people take away their lives. It is so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. It is fear that makes people do the wrong things, because they know if they do the right things will not benefit them. The right things benefit others more than it can benefit them. But we are in a world of creating a new generational mindset, whereby you have to sacrifice your decisions outside fear. You have to help create a new generational mindset that will create a better world, a better environment. Fear is an enemy of the world. Fear. So in my videos about new generational mindset, and that is what I intend to create across the world. I intend to create a new generational mindset so that governments of the world should do what they're supposed to do. Meaning that through a new generational mindset, we have to identify what leaders should do and must do. We must to identify what those who are led should do to make their leaders do what is required of them to do. Through the creation of a new generational mindset, we will identify what a parent should do to make a child a better person in the society. And what should children do to make their parents appear to be the best people in the society. What we must do to make life better. Because life is more worth than diamond, than gold, than sapphire, than anything that you can consider valuable. Life is more valuable than that. Thank you for watching. Stay with me along this pathway. Be with me. Let's support each other and let's ensure that a society is built, a society is raised to create a better society. That a society is built to create a better society. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Thank you. Stay with me. Let's walk this pathway. Let's make it. Let's build a future that has been dreamt for a long time. Thank you.